while exchanges took a little, deep breath in 2015, 2016 is going to be a moving year in the exchanges, both small group, mid-size, and large group business, and moving that through 2018. And joining us really to talk about the small group market and the innovative things they're doing is Peter Morris, CEO of TailorWell. Peter, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hey, good to have you on here. Happy holidays to you.
Yeah, same to all of you guys.
Yeah. Peter, for a market that might not know you, I know you're a new affiliate member, and I thank you for that. Give us a little background on what you're doing there at TailorWell and on yourself as well, because I think your experience goes a long way in what's going to be driving success for TailorWell.
Great. Well, thanks for asking. First of all, I think I'm fully caffeinated out here in Seattle, Washington. We're out here in the northwest corner, where the weather does feel like it probably ought to be the holidays. It's getting kind of cold and wet. Yeah. So yeah, we're focused on the small employer end of the market, and we'll, I'm sure, get a chance to talk a little bit about that. That's been the vision for TailorWell, and a lot of good things happening for us here as we go into 2016, serving that end of the market. I spent most of my career on the other end of the market, working with very large employers as a partner with Hewitt Associates, now part of Aon, where I was the managing partner for the Seattle and San Francisco offices. Since leaving Hewitt in 2002, I've spent most of my time working in the private equity and investing space, and learned over the years that what I really enjoyed doing was building companies and building businesses and solving problems. So that's what we're doing with TailorWell. So,
Peter, define the small market, because a lot of different definitions of small group market. Are you saying 2 to 99, 2 to 249? How do you define the small group market?
Well, the way we talk about it is 2 to 500.
Okay.
Because we do have some customers that we serve that have distributions in the 100+ space, but where we really have a lot of strengths relative to the market is in that under 100 or even under 50 space, where it's just really hard to scale lots of small groups in an efficient way. That's where we really shine. And we serve. Our customer is primarily the broker. That's our channel. Although we really view the broker, the employer, the consumer, and the insurance company as our customer. We have to serve all very well.
I think that's so important, because you never know where the light bulb's going off in any of these markets, segments, particularly small market. I mean, small employers used to just leave it all to their advisors. Today, they got to think about this too, and think about driving change and what to do. So, what are some of the big challenges with that small employer? There's been a lot of debate that they don't want to provide health insurance and health benefits. But talk a little bit about that and what you see in their pain points, but also the opportunities for them, particularly around an exchange model.
Yeah, well, there's still a big segment of that smaller end of the market that wants to provide health insurance. In fact, there was a great survey that came out last year. The Associated Press and the Center for Public Affairs Research published a survey, and it actually echoed some things I had heard from small employers in the market. And the first thing is that small employers want to provide health insurance simply because they believe it's the right thing to do. And now they'll go from there and talk about attracting and retaining and so on, and making sure they've got a healthy workforce. But there's a beyond a financial driver among a lot of small employers in this country. And it's a little bit different focus than, say, the startup market, where some of our famous competition is focused, where there's more of a focus on, hey, I don't want to hassle with this stuff. Just give me a basic program. I don't want to see a broker. And there is a sort of a startup, rapid growth segment of the small employer market that wants sort of an all-inclusive solution. But we see a big chunk of the market that still has concerns about delivering the right health insurance product at the right price.
Yeah, and I think the exchange model provide some employers that maybe aren't an opportunity to do that, because there is that tighter connection between an owner principal of a small employer than there is going upstream to even a larger mid-sized and larger employers. I mean, they do care about their people. They're closer to them, right?
Oh yeah, and in fact, if you talk to a CEO who's got 20, 30 people out on a floor doing some work, they not only they'll talk about individuals and talk about their concern about their health and the fact that somebody's missing work because of untreated diabetes, whatever. I mean, that they know what's going on. Every person's important. And so when they get out and look at health insurance, what we've learned is, they want to know what's out in the market. They want to know what's available. They want to see the products. They want to see the prices. And so part of what we've done is introduce transparency. That is a website where you can actually, as an employer, go look at the products in your market, see what's available, see what they cost, and actually model those products against the, what you want to provide, how much subsidy you want to provide, and so on. So our Plan-Compare website is something we just launched here in Washington, Oregon, and we'll be rolling out in other states during 2016.
Peter, it's Ron Bachman. Welcome aboard the IHC. I look forward to meeting you at the conferences, getting to know your organization and yourself a little bit more. One of my missions in life is solving the uninsured problem with free market solutions, and most of the uninsureds are really in that small group markets. It's the working poor that many times don't have insurance. How are you approaching that? Are you acting as just an exchange so our audience understands what your business model really is? Are you working directly with the brokers as sort of a master general agent, getting some commission from them? Or are you charging a fee to the brokers? How is your business model working in that small group market?
Hey, Ron, great to meet you as well, and great question. We become a technology and a channel for the broker. We enable them to sell a lot more product that's meaningful to not only the employer but that underinsured employee. So we have a way to get in there and reach those people. In some cases, it might be just making sure they get to the public exchange, but in there are products that can make a lot of sense for those people that are maybe indemnity type medical products or just products that deal with some of their other financial gaps and so on. So we become a platform for reaching the entire workforce. And in fact, some of our development effort over this next year is going to be improving what we can do with those folks that maybe aren't full-time, maybe don't qualify for the full-time benefits, but nonetheless the employer wants to do something for them. And you hinted at how do you make money? Well, there's definitely a part of our revenue that comes through admin fees and other consideration through the insurance companies and other product providers, and that's certainly an important part of our model.
Peter, what is the biggest challenge getting brokers on board with not just you, what is the biggest challenge with that small group broker right now and getting them to embrace an exchange model?
Well, I think the big challenge is that to serve the small end of the market really well, they've got to change their sales and business model. Our customers are using our technology in most cases to move to an inside sales approach. And this is where we use Zillow as an example of what happened in real estate. Zillow came in prior to Zillow and Redfin and some of these others. If you were trying to buy a home or any piece of real estate, you had to have an agent to see the prices in the market and to complete a transaction. That's exactly where we are in group insurance today. You got to have a broker to really know what's out there in the market. We see that changing. We see the market opening up in terms of transparency to products and prices, and then the broker really becomes, is important. But they're assisting the process. The employer can do more in terms of self-service, and then the broker can move to a call center approach where they're on the phone with the employer. They can actually discuss and present products online, complete a deal online and on the phone. And really deliver a much more efficient, sales and service model to that small end of the market. That's the barrier. Not everybody's ready to go there, but I think those that are going to really take off and grow here are going to get there pretty quickly.
Well, I think you're in the right part of the market. I'm excited about hearing about what you're doing because the death of the broker has been a little premature for many, many years now. I used to have a license. My brother actually runs a brokerage firm here in Atlanta, one of the largest ones in the state. And yeah, they're having to change their model to be more consultant, if you will, than strict broker. Mm-hmm. But the brokers have the relationships, and anybody who ever tries to cut them out, as some have tried, I think have done it at their own peril because many times, they have worked with the CEO. They had the startup. They helped the CEO's wife get coverage when she was denied. They've helped a key employee along the way. So I think the broker is not going to go away anytime soon. Those who don't want to change, actually, I see them more selling their businesses out and a little bit of consolidation with the brokers who see the future and what's going on. So I think you're in a great part of the marketplace. Just give you an example of where I think, and I don't know if this is happening in other states or how steeped you are in it, but I'm sort of a political junkie as well. And January 1st of 2017, the Affordable Care Act offers up some new opportunities for what they call state innovation waivers. More technically, it's 1332 waivers that will allow states to do a number of things. In Georgia, for example, we are in the process of putting in an application effective in 2017 that would allow employers to actually contribute monies through a health reimbursement arrangement that would allow individuals to buy insurance where that's now illegal under the current HHS rules. I think if something like that happens, that individual market might open up pretty rapidly with monies from small employers being able to be used to buy individual policies. I don't know if you're strictly in a small group or whether you see the potential expansion of your services to individuals. What's your thinking along those lines?
Oh, I think that is there's so much momentum that direction that it's going to happen sooner or later. The other side of the equation is that the employee is paying so much of the total cost of insurance, not only in premiums but in copays, and it's that number is getting closer and closer to about half the total bill. You get there, and it sort of begs the question, why are employers, providing this group product? I think it's still going to make sense for a lot of employers, but I do see a transition occurring. And our platform definitely is positioned to support a hybrid model where some of the products offered to the workforce might be group, it might be group dental, vision, life, and everything else, but with a mix of individual products which could include medical. And and so you've got to have a group chassis to run that, but you've got to have a consumer experience and be able to do some consumer transactions. And the organizations that are getting excited about what we're doing see that coming and see that potential in our technology.
Peter, talk a little bit about look ahead to 2016. What do you see in the year ahead as it relates to the small group market? I mean, 2015 across each market segment was looked at as a year where the market kind of took a deep breath, maybe didn't move its head as rapidly as people had predicted. And I think some of that's justified. It was so crazy, the market needed to take a deep breath. But, we see 2016, differently. How do you see it?
Well, I think there's still going to be some confusion particularly in some states. For example, we just found out within the last 8 weeks that the definition of small employer for community-rated products in many states was supposed to jump up to 100 employees. Well, the feds came out and said, well, you can stay at 50 if you want to as a state. Many states decided to, and all these products got filed assuming that they were going to go to 100. So the pricing isn't quite right in the market. So I think there's just going to be a little more confusion among employers as they look at these products. You've got self-funded products dropping into, in some states, below 50 employees. So I think you're going to see some settling out in 2016. 2017, I think we're going to see a big jump in community-rated rates because the risk adjustment promise is done. We're not going to see any more of that. and then I think a little more settling out in terms of self-funding versus community-rated products and so on. So it's going to, and then I think technology is going to start to seep into the small end of the market. I think we're on the leading edge of that, by the way, in terms of technology that actually works in a scalable way for small employers. A lot of people have tried and aspired to get in there and really make it work, and few have really done it very well. Obviously we're excited about our opportunities to sneak into that space in 2016, but I think more and more folks are going to come in so that you see better tools, particularly for brokers to use to serve small employers. That's what I think will happen. So there's just a lot going on here in this end of the market, and a lot of settling out that's going to occur.
All good opportunities.
Yeah.
Peter, really appreciate you having on the program. Time flies when we're having a good, informative, and fun conversation. I'd like to give you a chance to kind of wrap this and leave our audience with a couple takeaways.
Yeah, I think that there's a couple things I'd say. Probably the majority of small employers out there that are providing health insurance are mostly concerned about the quality and cost of that insurance, and really are underserved. They're looking for some better help, and they're not looking for a complete outsourced HR solution. They kind of like some of the other things they have, like payroll and so on. They're still concerned about getting a good deal on their insurance, and that's an unmet need as we see it in the market. So they're looking for transparency. They're looking for good help. They're not necessarily going to hang out and play golf with their broker. They might just be happy to get on the phone and get some help making that decision. And I think the broker is going to move towards more of a role as an assistant or a facilitator in that process versus driving the whole process. And that's a trend that we see happening right now. So those are a few things. And hey, guys, I really appreciate it. I really like the work you're doing. It's fun to be part of what you're up to, and thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Peter, and appreciate you being a part of what we're doing. You have a great holiday, and I'll talk to you after the first of the year.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Take care.